Welcome to the Audio Inc. Radio podcast, featuring interviews with the biggest names in rock and metal. Hosted by Ann Erickson.
Got Inc.? Head to audioinkradio.com and find exclusive artist interviews, Q&As, photos, contests, music news, and more. Whew, that's a lot of ink. It's audioinkradio.com.
Just in case you were wondering, I had the best time self-quarantining today. I watched a bunch of old Headbangers Ball episodes. I admit I haven't seen a lot of the ones from kind of back in the day, but I used to love watching Headbangers Ball with Jamie Josta from Hatebreed. Shout out to Jamie. I always thought he had just a really fun personality for a metalhead type thing, but love that show. So I'm in my happy place, Headbangers Ball, happy place, but you are in for a treat. It's time for another edition of the podcast. I'm Ann Erickson. As always, really awesome to rock with you. Hope you're staying safe and healthy during this crazy, wild time. Link up with me on social media because, you know, we're all in this together. We're all just hanging out at home. I'm here in my home studio, which I'm really thankful I can rock out with you right here. So hang out with me online. I would love to hear from you. Twitter and Snapchat at Ann Erickson, Instagram and TikTok at Erickson Ann, Facebook at itsmeann.com. Actually, you can link up with all of my social media right there at itsmeann.com. And if you are rocking the podcast for the very first time, welcome. It's awesome to have you. Also, please subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. Leave a 5-star review. It really helps, and I definitely appreciate all of your great support. It is time now for the main part of the podcast, so get comfy. I've got another A-list artist on the show, just an awesome dude, Corey from Trivium, one of the biggest, hottest metal bands of the moment. They just released a new record, What the Dead Men Say, just a really awesome guitar-driven set. Really talented guys. So Corey from Trivium, let's do it.
Hey, this is Corey from Trivium. You're listening to Audio Inc. Radio with Ann Erickson. Hey, it's Corey.
Awesome. How are you doing?
Doing good.
Great. Well, thanks for making the time to do this interview.
No problem.
First of all, congrats on the new record, What the Dead Man Say, which it's actually Trivium's 9th studio album, right?
Yes.
How would you say this record is different from the rest of Trivium's catalog?
I think this record, I think just like kind of like how the previous record is, it's kind of like we wanted to make a record that really kind of like takes everything we've done in our career and kind of really kind of puts it into like, you know, one sound that really can represent, you know, the previous records like in one record. And then this record, I think, kind of takes from the last record and builds off of it. You know, we didn't want to do a record where we did something where people really connected with it and really were into the record and then kind of followed up with something that goes in a totally different direction. We wanted to just kind of take the previous record with what we did on the Sin and the Sentence that worked so well and just kind of build off that foundation and just kind of take it a little further and go and, you know, add some more elements in there and some different stuff to build off of to make the record, you know, its own unique thing, but also like not like a departure from like what we, you know, kind of set in motion on the previous record that we felt really kind of covered all the bases of, you know, kind of what everyone expects to, you know, hear on a Trivium record.
Do you have a favorite track off What the Dead Men Say?
It kind of changes since there's, you know, a good variety of kind of song styles, but you know, definitely one of my favorite songs is Amongst the Shadows and the Stones. I really like that song a lot, and then also Defiance, another really killer one. But it kind of changes because you know, there's some like the longer, crazier songs, and then there's like some more just straightforward songs. So there's a little, you know, a little variety in there that you kind of, depending on your mood, it kind of can vary. But definitely those two are my, you know, if I'm gonna pop on a track from the record and want to get all pumped up, those are some good ones.
Was there anything about the recording process for this new record that was completely different from what you guys have done before?
Yeah, when we did the record, the one thing that we kind of mixed, or I guess changed up from kind of like how we normally record is Josh Wilbur, our producer, kind of had like this different approach that I guess he normally takes on records that we've never done before, but he wanted to try just because of the whole in the recording process, I guess for, you know, it kind of made sense that usually on all the records we would record the drums first, and then his whole approach was like, dude, we should do drums last because we're not committed to arrangements and everything like that we can record the record, but also if there's something we wanted to kind of like change up or do something different, like it's easier to kind of rearrange or cut different things with guitars and vocals than drums, because of just all like the, you know, the technicality of recording with just the amount of effort it goes into and microphones and everything that goes with drums, that it's easier to edit or change things on the fly with guitars and stuff than drums. So if there's anything we change, is like we do the drums last and we kind of record the drums to whatever we've, you know, kind of altered or changed if we had to do something like, you know, during the recording process. So that was one thing that we went differently. We just did pre-pro for a day, kind of like jammed over the songs, got the tempos, and then just went in and started recording guitars. So like the recording process went way faster because we just jumped right into recording guitars and vocals, like, you know, day one, and we're able to, you know, record this record a lot faster than previous records, and it was very time efficient as you know, recording goes. You know, we were just able to get in and start recording right away instead of like, you know, this long drawn out like setup, like a drum set, microphones, getting tones, and then you're like, oh, it's day 3 and we're finally able to record something. So it definitely sped up the process, and because we just wanted to get in and start recording and just kind of like just hit the ground running. So that whole kind of flipped the process that Josh recommended definitely was something that we really enjoyed, and that really helped keep everything moving forward in a really timely manner.
So the whole coronavirus thing is so wide-reaching. How are you seeing the coronavirus pandemic impact those in the music business who rely on touring and tours, you know, to make a living?
It's live touring and you know, concerts and stuff like that. Like, you know, the music industry was basically the first thing that just got totally shut down. It's like, you know, the live touring, music, and sports just like went from just like, hey, we're here, and then like, you know, a couple hours later, like I remember hanging out at home and just like, you know, watching basketball on TV, and the next thing you know, like some report came on the thing about you know, the Jazz players being sick, and then next thing you know, like an hour later, it's like season's over, or like season's postponed, like just like that. And I was like, whoa, what the hell just happened? So and then we've kept our eye on it, you know, because we had shows this past couple weeks ago. We were supposed to be playing in Asia, and, you know, obviously we were keeping an eye on everything, and we canceled way before anything got, like, you know, mass canceled, like, you know, across the board. You know, we just knew that it wasn't getting any better, and the area of the world we were supposed to go to was not the spot to be in. And it just, like, eventually snowballed with just, like, travel restrictions, and just, like, you know, it just wasn't going to happen. So we're just kind of, you know, another one of those, you know, another band who's just in that wait and see when we can get back to, you know, doing what we do, you know, where everyone's just kind of has to sit on the bench for a while before they can get back in the game. It's a bummer. I think it definitely hurts bands, especially like smaller bands that were relying on the tour income to you know, keep the band going. But definitely for a band like us, you know, we haven't really been touring too much for the last, you know, year. So we really didn't have like a whole lot of stuff we had to cancel. So luckily for us, you know, it didn't really put a huge, I guess, you know, storm in our, you know, in our world. But I feel really bad for all the bands and especially their crew, because, like, you know, the crew people that work for bands and stuff, you know, they're basically like their whole income is off touring and going from, you know, working for a band and then jumping on with another band to tour and stuff like that. And when we just take all the touring out of the equation of every genre across the world, there's definitely a lot of people that are just out of work. And then a lot of the dudes I know that work for our band, if we're not touring, they work at clubs and stuff in their hometowns, and all that stuff's closed. So it's like there's like, I feel bad because there's like basically like no matter where you turn for like that industry, there's like really there's no other option for like work in your kind of like for what you do. So it's definitely a bummer, and it's not just touring. It's just there's a lot of people that it's just like the live industry, service industry is definitely taking a major hit right now, and hopefully everything can clear up as safe as possible. That I want to get back out and play shows and not be stuck at home all the time. So looking forward to that day again.
Oh, absolutely. Do you think touring and concerts will change forever after COVID-19, or do you think it'll go back to the way it was?
I was kind of with everything just kind of with music, sports, or just even anything like you just being able to just go out whenever you want to go do something, even go to the movies or the mall or something. It's like everything's like closed down. There's nothing really to do. So hopefully, like what I hope is like when things get back to normal and people are there's no restrictions on being in a large crowd or going somewhere public or whatever, that I just hope there's a newfound appreciation for live entertainment, live music, just being able to go out and socialize with people. Hopefully there's like an appreciation to like, when you have something taken away that you maybe taken for granted, places and cities or people that get like, there's like a concert or, a band in town like every other day it seems, or like, multiple shows a week that, some people, you get used to being spoiled with just the amount of options you have, that hopefully that, now that it's gone and when it comes back, there's like an actual, a newfound appreciation for like, oh man, it's like, we had it pretty good, being stuck at home and not having anywhere to go, it's, you kind of, when you get back out there, you kind of like, oh, I'm like, I miss this, and hopefully just appreciate, the options you have for entertainment, and appreciate the people that are out there, every day, putting the show on and getting ready to, hopefully entertain you with the best, show they possibly can. So, I'm definitely, we've been off tour for a while. I was already, eager to get out and playing again even before this happened, and now that it's, kind of taken away, like, you don't know when exactly you're going to be able to go do it again. It just kind of makes it like even more, I guess you're even more pumped to, when you finally get that opportunity again to really go out and, embrace it and enjoy it like to the fullest. So, yeah, so hopefully, people aren't going to be, completely scared into being germaphobe, crazies where they're, they get panicked to be, in a large group again. So hopefully there's a little balance of both, like, going back to normal, but also, an appreciation for, having that access again.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great point that I think we'll all appreciate it more. Well, Trivium has a great tour on tap for this summer with In Flames, Lamb of God, and Megadeth, which is really awesome. The tour is on right now for June. Do you know if it'll be a go?
Yeah, it's supposed to start at the end of June, and it's just all kind of up in the air with government regulations and stuff, and city regulations, and I know there's like trying to figure everything out. I don't really know. I'm not the management stuff is keeping eyes on everything and talking to government people, and I know there's like certain cities where they have like no mass gatherings till a certain date, and sometimes that can conflict with well, we're supposed to be in this city before that, so who knows, there's a as of right now the tour is still as is, but there's always a possibility that it could get moved just because it's just coming up to the tour pretty soon, and like the fact that like no one's been working, and able to buy tickets. It can, cause an issue with a lot of different things. So, we're hopeful, we can, either way, if the tour, if for some reason it gets moved, we're still going to play those shows. They're just going to, come at a different time. So there's no, people don't have to worry about, the show being completely taken away. It just, might have to, wait if it does get changed. So we're kind of in the same boat, just kind of taking it day by day, just kind of seeing what, how everything kind of unfolds and how everything kind of, I guess, gets handled. It's kind of, especially here in the States, it's looks like it's probably going to get worse than before it gets better. So who knows what's,
Right.
what to expect. So it's kind of out of our hands at the moment. So it's just kind of a fingers crossed and wish for the best.
A lot of bands were touring in Europe, as you know, a few months ago, and then they got sick and that sort of thing. But you guys hadn't been touring yet, right?
No, we've been home for a while. We did some shows in Australia in December, and that was about it. And then we hadn't done any shows prior to that till July. So we haven't really done many shows in the last year. And we were supposed to go play 4 shows over in Asia, and that was right when the virus started to break out outside of China. So we were going to Japan, Singapore, Thailand, Indonesia, and that was right when it started hitting some of those countries. So there was right at the spread, and and then unfortunately, our friends, we were supposed to play a show in Thailand with Testament, who a bunch of those guys got tested positive from touring over in Europe, so they would have been meeting up with us. So it's kind of worked out. We didn't get exposed or be around anyone that might have been exposed. So it's better safe than sorry. It's easier to reschedule a show than want to deal with some kind of crazy virus that obviously affects people drastically different per person. So it's you don't even want to, I guess, test the waters on
right,
exposing yourself to that. So luckily we've been at home and started taking the precautions as soon as possible. So we've all a bunch of us, at least the guys in the band, we all live in different parts of the country. So everyone's just kind of doing as much as possible to not be around people. So,
yeah. That's what it takes.
Record comes out on the April 24th, and hopefully the week the record comes out, we'll be dropping another surprise track from the record to hopefully get everyone completely amped up for the release. So be some more stuff to hit everyone before the record comes out. So also go to trivium.org. We got all the pre-order bundles and stuff if you want to make sure you get the physical copy of the record, just in case if everything's closed down and you can't get to a record store. Make sure you get the record or vinyl or whatever you want delivered to your house to experience the record right when it comes out.
It's the cutting edge of new music and the forefront of rock. It's Audio Inc. with Ann.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Audio Inc. Radio Podcast. Subscribe to our channel so you never miss an episode. Get inked online at audioinkradio.com. I'm Ann Erickson for the Audio Inc. Radio Podcast.